Hockey Podcast edition. It's like 8 o'clock. Why are we doing podcast at 8 o'clock? You know why we're doing podcast at 8 o'clock? Because why not? It's the fucking pandemic. Time doesn't exist anymore. It's like a construct of our imagination. So morning shows or midday shows or evening shows, it doesn't really matter. Whenever the boys can get together and talk, right? That's what we're doing. Anyway, welcome to the Dean Blundell Show here at deanblundell.com. Brought to you by our friends at Owner's Box. Owner's Box, weekly fantasy sports, more payouts all the time. They'll match up to a $50 deposit. If you go and sign up, go to deanblundell.com to do it, though. That's all you have to do, and you'll see the Owner's Box logo right at the top. Click on it. Go all the way through it. It's super simple, really easy. If you're not into fantasy, it's like turnkey, too. It's incredible. Owner's Box fantasy sports, weekly fantasy sports like nobody's doing in the world. They're the best. Owner's Box. Go check them out. Sign up. Please do it. That'd be great. Also, special thank you to our friends at Blue Microphones. Right now we're doing a contest called Show Us Your Podcast, where we want to work with you. We'll add your podcast to our network, and you could win all new podcast gear, including a Blue Yeti X microphone, the one that I'm using. You can also win yourself a, what do you call those things again? What do you call, oh yeah, headphones, like the ones I'm wearing. Emmy Award-winning Blue microphone headphones, by the way. Easy. We'll just give them to you from Blue. And a mic arm. So all the podcast stuff that you need to set up to do your job, and the great stuff that Blue makes, the #1 broadcast podcast microphone on the planet. And we're doing a podcast with them. So we want your podcast. All you do is go to deanblundell.com and you enter on the right-hand side. And when you enter, real simple, just send a link to your podcast. We'll have a listen to it, and then we'll get back to you. It's really, really that easy. It's the Show Us Your Pod contest from Blue Microphones, at Blue Microphones on Twitter, by the way. Whoo! Now that we're through that, speaking of podcasts, we've been adding it's weird, like 15 podcasts in the last month and a half to the deanblundell.com network. And what I've realized is the key to endearing yourself as a digital entity to anybody's crowd is to go and find guys that have really fucking killer hockey podcasts and say, hey, want to work with us because we love hockey podcasts, because we do. And the reason I love hockey podcasts is that there are so many of them that only the really good ones stand out. So those are the ones that we're really fortunate enough to work with, and a couple of them and hosts of those podcasts join us today. Please welcome from the Hockey Dummies Podcast, my buddy Steve, and from the Have a Listen podcast, Gibby. Guys, hi. Nice to see you.
Hey, Dino, how you doing, man? Great to be back.
Yeah.
Dean, how's it going?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
Good.
Fantastic.
As we were discussing, Wiener's back to full capacity, so things are looking up and literally looking up in my world.
Yeah, you're having wiener issues last time we podcasted, right? Like it was and it was weird because I didn't meet the guy, Gibby. Like I had no idea who Steven was, and I'm like, hey, yeah, well, excited to podcast with you tomorrow. This is a couple weeks ago. Yeah, don't forget, I'll be like 15 minutes late because I got to check my wiener out. It's a little sick, if you know what I'm saying. It's a little sick. So I don't even know the guy. And I'm like, yeah, okay, thanks, man. Good luck with your wiener. He's like, then the next text is, yeah, sometimes stuff happens, right? And you got to, and I'm like, I don't even know this guy. I'm like, yeah, good luck with your fucking wiener, dude. I get it.
You loved it. And the thing is, Dean, is like I grew up listening to you for years talking about your wiener issues, and so I felt like I was in the community. I was within the Blundell family, and I felt comfortable enough to share my life experiences with you, not just about hockey.
Right.
Talk a lot about wieners at the Hockey Dummies.
Yeah, I never talked about my wiener issues.
Well, Todd.
Yeah, no, I don't. Well, how is your wiener? Like, is it okay?
It was spectacular. Thanks. My wiener's never been more wienery.
But we're back to 100%.
Your wiener's good? Did you have to get medicine? Was it sick? Did you have a sick wiener?
No. It wasn't anything like that. But it
was. Did you get the old snipperoo?
Well, that has happened. Already has happened. There's been a lot happening down there over the last several years. But we're taken care of. We're pampered. We're back to normal.
That's it.
Good for you. Congratulations. And good for your wiener. Really happy about that.
Thanks. He appreciates all your support.
Yeah. Gibby, have a listen. The podcast.
Yes.
I just have to say, I the older I've gotten, the more I get right turned off by like grown men that have fucking jerseys hanging on the back of their office wall.
Well, that was purposely done. Purposely done. I'm a tactical guy, man. Trying to trigger.
And as a Leaf fan, I purposely didn't put one up because, I'm not sick.
It's douchey.
1967. I wouldn't show my Leaf shit either.
And first, let me just hang on a second before we get started with this podcast. We've got the Hockey Dummies Podcast host, Steve. We got Gibby from the Have a Listen podcast. They're both massive fans of their respective teams. Gibby, of course, a Habs fan because he does the Have a Listen podcast, or greasy Habs fan, whatever you want to call him. And a psycho Leaf fan in Steve. But the vitriol between those two franchises on social media is one of the greatest wealths of entertainment that I've ever seen in my life. And there are grades of stupidity in fandom, right? Like there are different versions of stupidity, but you guys operate in that world every day. Are you amazed at how stupid the worst of your fan base is sometimes?
Oh, please let me take this one first.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was trying to go based on the topic of the fact that there's so many fucking Leaf fans, not only in Toronto, but throughout the world and in Canada. Like you look at any Leaf game when they're on the road and there's Leaf fans everywhere. Mm-hmm. But just by sheer capacity, the fact that we have so many fans, that just means that we're going to have so many more idiots. And like, there's so many tweets that I look at or things that I hear on the radio call-ins or whatever. And I just shake my head and I'm like, fuck, like these people are representing me right now. Like, that's not me. Like, I'm not Joe from the bridge saying we're going to win the cup this year. Like this isn't, people say, oh, this is our year. It's like, that's a fucking joke to me too. This is not our year. I hope it is, but I still don't think that we're fully there yet. And I definitely don't think the Habs are.
Gib?
Yeah.
Gib, same thing. Like, do you look at the Montreal extremists, like the fan base, the terrorists of your fan base, and go, for fuck's sake, sometimes?
Yeah. So on Habs Twitter, there's the Bergevin apologists, which are no matter what Bergevin does, we love them. And then there's the guys that no matter what Bergevin does, just absolutely hates him. Bergevin can bring in McDavid for fucking peanuts, and they would still shit on it and say, "Oh, you didn't pay Gallagher enough money, but you still brought in McDavid." Like there's no in between, and that's where I kind of feel like it's tough for our podcast because we're very in between. We appreciate what Bergevin does, we also hate what he does, but there's just some fucking fans on Twitter, and you literally do nothing except for give your head a shake. It's incredible how stupid some fan it's insane to me. And like the back and forth banter even between some Leafs and like Leafs Twitter and Habs Twitter, like the back and forth banter, like some of the comparisons that I've seen on Twitter are just wild. Like with Josh Anderson comparing him to David Clarkson. Like, are you fucking for real? Are you guys for real?
And that's when you know that you're dealing with someone who's a total fucking lunatic, right? Those are the conversations like between Leaf fans and Hab fans that I walk away from, are the comparative conversations where some guys like, we're like when the Leafs picked up Joe Thornton, I saw a steady stream of Habs fans talk about how much younger Josh Anderson was than Joe Thornton, and I'm like, that's not the fucking point, you stupid idiots. And then how much better he is than Joe Thornton. Joe Thornton's an instant Hall of Famer. Joe Thornton's one of the greatest players who's ever played the game. And there's no comparison to fucking make because one guy's 41 and the other guy's like 23 and he's perpetually injured and no one knows who he is. And so, we know who and Joe Thornton's $700,000, the other guy's like 30 million. And so I'm watching these people make comparisons. I'm like, I can't even and emotionally speaking, you watch guys like fans of Leafs and Habs fans, they get all tripped up in it and they're like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
Yeah, it's apples and oranges, right? You're right. It's like there's no comparison to that. But even where I come from as a Leaf fan and a hockey fan in general, I laugh at all this shit. I laugh at the dumb Hab fans. I laugh at the dumb Leaf fans. I laugh at the dumb hockey fans in general. Yeah. But at the same time, it's like, in terms of, I'm always going to represent the team. I can laugh at the stupid moves that we make. Yeah. But at the same time, I'm definitely going to point out the stupid moves that the other teams make. And, the Habs and the Sens and the Bruins, are at the top of my shit list. So it's like, those three teams are the teams that I hate the most.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just due to the rivalry, right? Bruins kicking our butts in the playoffs. Fucking hate the Bruins. Habs,
Yeah,
Habs,
if you live anywhere within an 80 square kilometer radius of Toronto and you're Leafs fans, you just instantly hate the Habs. So there's your other one.
Yeah,
it's in your fucking DNA.
Yeah, my kids hate the Habs, and it's just like just instantaneous, right? It's just like put on the Leaf jersey, and these are the bad guys, and that's just it. That's just the way that we.
Yeah. I didn't get that tutorial.
Yeah,
didn't get that tutorial.
Who's worse? Like, if you took the worst of the worst, who's the worst? Who would be the champion of the worsts? Leaf psychos or greasy Habs fans?
I don't know. Like I don't know. For me, like just from what you were saying, Phil, Gibby, like it sounds like you focus so much in on like the Habs that they probably drive you nuts, and it's the same with me with the Leafs. Like, but you're here, you're in Ontario, and so you hear a lot of the same shit that I have to hear on the radio with the Leafs. But for me, Dean, it's got to be the Leaf fans, man. They drive me nuts, and maybe it's just because I'm biased and I'm passionate about the Leafs, and to hear them with these stupid, idiotic comments, it's just for me, it's just like whatever. I a lot of the times I just turn it off.
Yeah, and you're a Leaf fan too.
Yeah,
Gibby, who's worse?
Me, that's tough.
Who's shittier? Who's more fucking human garbage? Leaf psychos or
the Leafs? I mean, they're Leaf fans, so they're the more of the human garbage. But I will say this: I'm not going to choose a side of who's worse, but I'm going to leave you with this. There are people still talking about the PK Subban and Shea Weber trade. Like, they're talking about Shea Weber and trading PK. They're talking about bringing back Radulov. They're talking about bringing back Kovalchuk. Like, I feel like they have troubles with breakups, and they're still coped up on their couch in a little bundle of fucking blanket and just crying over these trades, like, and their ex-girlfriend just broke up with them or something.
Who's dumber? Who's dumber? Which
Leaf
fan base is dumber? Like the
Leaf
dumber
fans.
hockey fan, Leaf fan base, or the Hab fan base in general?
I'll take this one. So I think the Leaf fans are definitely dumber.
Yeah.
Definitely dumber because of the fact, okay, maybe not majority of them, but all the guys, like as soon as you guys signed Tavares, boom, plan the fucking parade. Let's get the floats out, guys. We're going to be planning the parade.
Is that even like a thing though? Like, sorry to interrupt, but it's like everybody always says that, but nobody that I talk to in my circle, nobody has ever come up to me and been like, dude, like we're going to fucking win the cup this year. Like, like legit. Like,
yeah.
I thought you were going to say no one's ever come up to you and said, hey man, can we get some help with this parade?
Yeah, fuck that too.
Can you man this float real quick?
Hey man, can you help me with this float?
The thing is, I think all of that is just like this big joke now. Like in our hockey pool too, everybody's talking about that. We have a ton of fucking Leaf haters in our hockey pool, and the jokes don't ever stop. And the truth is I think it's just a joke. I think that's all it really is. I haven't met anybody who actually really thinks, like the parade is coming. We got John Tavares. We're gonna win it all. Like realistically, I haven't actually met that person.
So does that just happen on social media, or is that real? Like,
I think that's a social media thing.
Yeah, that's again like that's unfortunate, right? Those are the same people that have the Domi tattoo all the way across their back,
just butchered.
Right. Those are the guys that got the TML shaved into the side of their head at the butcher. Like those are the guys, and they're like 60.
Right.
Yeah.
Those guys are. So those guys are in South.
What? See now the difference between the two fan bases for me is 4 numbers, 1 date, and it's 1967, and it's like the one fucking thing Habs fans have to be able to say to Leafs fans that no one's won since 1967, and that one date not only doesn't bother me when people say it. I think it's like it's like the calling card of the stupid, sort of how like when I know like of a dumb hockey fan in general, like I can see when a guy's got a bowl cut, I know he's crazy. Don't go fucking near him. Same thing. The second someone utters those other words, I'm like, yeah, you're the biggest idiot on the planet, and I have nothing to do. I want nothing to do with you.
I gotta jump in on my biggest idiot Habs fan here thing. The thing that drives me the craziest is So the Habs have won the most Stanley Cups in NHL history. Everybody knows that. The Hab fans, now maybe, Gibby, you let me know, like this might not be you or everybody, but in the social media world, and I have had some personal friends actually be like, well, we have more cups. So there's always spitting the fucking more cups down everyone's throat. We have the second most cups. Do you know how many teams of the other 29 teams that we go up to and say we have more cups than you? We never fucking say that. So
but if you're not first, you're last, right?
We never fucking say that.
When was the last time we went up to a Vancouver Canucks fan and said, hey man, we have more cups than you? Who gives a shit?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, the other part of it that I get a kick out of between Habs fans and Leafs fans, Gibby, is the other day I was part of a 48-hour thread where guys were blocking each other, telling each other to go fuck themselves. Your mother's a hooer. Like it was written like that too, hooer. And it was like, and you know what it was over? It was over who had the better offseason, the Habs or the Leafs. And,
my fuck.
Can you explain that to me? Because I watched this whole thing happen and I had to remind them, you guys are fucking blocking each other, insulting each other's mothers over which loser team is more of a loser than the other loser team. You're both fucking losers. No one's won anything for years. Winning is not relevant with either of these two franchises.
Man, like it's I don't honestly I'm not that guy. I like going back to what you were saying, Steve, like I don't talk about the cups because that's so irrelevant to me.
And that was 1992.
1993, yeah. But like
whatever. Who cares?
1992, 93, I think it was, but whatever, it is what it is.
93, does it matter?
Yeah. The thing is with me, like I never get into the Twitter battles. Like as soon as I start seeing name calling, I'm just like, dude, we're
like
not
what
12.
could make it? What could ever make you a guy like you say something about Josh Anderson's plus minus? Why on earth would ever want to make a Leaf fan? Because this happens. Hey, Josh Anderson was this plus minus. He's going to be a great addition. Really looking forward to having him in a Habs uniform. And some guy goes, "You don't know anything. Go fuck yourself." Like that. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? This is what it's like. It would be like you standing in a parking lot and you're having coffee with like a couple guys and people are walking by and they overhear part of your conversation. This is what social media is like. This is what kills me about Leafs and Habs fans, because it's like no one gets this part, and it's the easiest part for me to understand. It's like a virtual world. It's like Sims of people having a coffee in a parking lot, walking by, hearing part of your conversation and taking serious fucking issue with it. And going, fuck you, you know what you're talking about. And then just keep walking. Yeah. Or maybe come back just to see if they got a rise out of you and then go, oh yeah? Well, you're a piece of shit. And all over you going, yeah, I really like Josh Anderson. Like, that's the part that kills me about this fucking whole game.
Twitter reminds me of like a Simpsons episode when the mob comes out. The pitchforks come out, and everyone is just like fucking hopping on board. You know, Josh Anderson's plus minus isn't good, and all of a sudden it's just like you have 1,000 people on Twitter like the Simpsons rallying around with pitchforks, fucking trying to kill somebody. It's like, who gives a shit? And you know, we keep talking about Josh Anderson. I love Josh Anderson. I think that's a great get for the Habs. I fucking hate that they got him. I wish he was a Leaf. I would much rather have him than Wayne Simmons and fucking Joe Thornton and Zach Bogosian all rolled into one. So I think he's a great get.
Yeah,
that's a stupid thing to say.
No.
Okay, then I'm not gonna comment on what I'm gonna say then, because I was about to compliment.
No, go ahead, please.
No, like in terms of the Leafs' overall offseason, I personally think the Habs had a better offseason, but that's obviously the bias. But you guys added pieces that you guys actually fucking needed. You need that veteran presence on the bottom six, because obviously you got Nylander, Marner, all those great players that are going to score you the goals. But you need the sandpaper guys, which is Wayne Simmons. If you guys can rekindle the Wayne Simmons, that'd be beauty, right?
Philly Wayne Simmons. If we can get Philly Wayne Simmons, that'd be good.
Yeah, for fucking, it was for cheap, right? So you can't complain. It's low risk.
You know what I think is really nice? How you guys are both complimenting each other's franchises now. It's really sweet.
Give me a second here, because what I wanted to jump in on.
Hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. The truth is you're right that we did add those elements, and that maybe you guys did have a better offseason to get what you guys needed, but you guys still don't have Austin Matthews. You guys still don't have Mitch Marner. You guys still don't have John Tavares. Those.
That's fine.
But you need that high end talent to win as well. So I guess I understand, like, you're trying to win by committee. Like, I'm looking up the middle here. Nick Suzuki, 20-year-old, as your number one center.
He was pretty awesome in the playoffs.
Sure. Yeah, so was John Druce, right?
So was Lonnie Bahanas.
Yeah, Lonnie B. And I like Philip Deneau. I think he's a really good number two. You got to hope Kotkaniemi hits. Drouin's a sack of shit. Tatar's hit and miss. Lekkonen's a third liner. Gallagher.
I was interested. You say Tatar's a piece of shit, but Taylor Hall just got $8 million to sign in Buffalo, and Tatar had more points, goals, and assists than Taylor Hall over the past 2 seasons. So, just fucking take it easy on Thomas Tatar. Not only does he have a terrible last name, he's not that bad of a player.
That's Tuna. Don't make fun of Tuna, man.
Yeah. Can I ask you a question? Gibby?
Yeah, what's up?
Was the Domi for Anderson trade a good trade? Who would you rather see in a Hab uniform?
Well, it's wait and see for Josh Anderson. I'm a huge Domi fan. He's a great player. I felt like he played with a little bit too much edge at times, and people got under his skin and took some stupid penalties over the years. In terms of, I think the Columbus trade for Anderson was a good hockey deal. They got a 2-center in Domi, and then we got a big Rick Nash-esque big body goal scorer in Josh Anderson. So
I feel like you're making too much out of Josh Anderson.
I think you are
fucking
too.
Rick Nash.
No, it's not Rick.
No,
Nash.
I'm talking in terms of body and like he's a big statured guy.
Well, listen, if you're going to compare every guy who's over 6'3" to Rick Nash.
Okay. I got high hopes for the kid.
Yeah, no shit. I would too after trading Max Domi for him. Okay, who's a better general manager, Kyle Dubas or Marc Bergevin?
Neither. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm reluctant to say Dubas because I haven't loved a lot of his moves, but at the same time, I feel like he's turning that leaf. I almost feel like he's need a little bit more time. Bergevin, you know what? I don't love the team, and I know, like, I do, like, my favorite player on the team is probably Josh Anderson, and they just got him. And I don't think that I'm not. I don't know. I don't love your squad at all.
Brendan Gallagher, Shea Weber.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Carey Price,
likable players.
What about Carey
Price?
Yeah. What about Carey Price? What about Jeff Petrie? Are you not a big Jeff Petrie guy? Jeff Petrie's awesome, man.
I don't mind a lot of these guys, but it's just like there's so many other players on the Leafs that I'd rather have than Shea Weber or I fucking love Carey Price.
Okay, so aside from the big four, who would you rather?
No, we're not doing this. I'm talking Dubas versus Bergevin.
Okay, fair enough.
We're not done there. Don't sidetrack the conversation, Gibby.
I have ADD, man.
All right.
It is what it is.
So do I.
I'm like all over the place. Leave me alone. In terms of GM, Bergevin.
Okay,
I think Bergevin. Plain and simple, he's made better trades.
Which trades do you like that he's made?
Like the Shea Weber for PK Subban trade.
Pretty good trade.
I like the initial Max Domi trade when we traded him for fucking Alex Galchenyuk. I like the fucking Jeff Petrie trade.
Pretty good trade. Yeah.
Jeff Petrie was just draft picks. I like the Jake Allen deal that we just made.
You know what? And let's just say this about the PK Subban deal too, is that deal gets better as time goes on.
Yeah. And people said initially that was going to be
worse.
Shea Weber was going to age. It was going to get worse. Yep. So fuck everybody else. In terms of re-signing players and signing players, like outside of Alsner and shit like that, I think you got to give it to Bergevin. He's able to penny pinch. He just signed Toffoli for a little bit less than what he was expected to make. and you got fucking Kyle Dubas getting fucking bullied in signing Marner, signing fucking Tavares, signing Matthews.
That's 2
like,
years
all those-
ago. No, don't do that.
No,
That's 2
but
years
we're
ago.
comparing. You asked who's a better GM. I'm giving examples here.
Yeah. Okay. I meant like now. I meant like now, not
Bergevin.
like I don't need to know what Kyle Dubas did when he was 13. Like, oh, Kyle Dubas stole a candy bar. He's worse. I will say this: the guy I would fuck with the least is Marc Bergevin. He looks like he would tear
100%.
your arms off and beat you with the wet part.
He
That guy
is
looks so jacked.
He's a well-dressed man too.
Yeah. Good looking guy. Who's better
Guy's
looking,
stuff.
Bergevin or Dubas?
Well, come on, Bergie.
Dubas wears fucking blue lens glasses all day. Like,
You know,
no.
Hey,
Yeah,
Pat,
but they have two different looks. Like Bergevin's got this like cool like dance dad look, you
Dance
know,
dad.
and Dubas has this like I just started a family, we're going to the pumpkin patch look all the time. Do you know what I mean?
that's my luck.
Like they have two different looks, but they're both good looking guys.
Sure.
Yeah, no,
Sure.
for sure. But yeah,
But
definitely
Dean-
Bergevin.
But Dino, who would you rather blow?
Oh,
I'm out.
All right. Well, you know what? Pat's gonna hate me for this one because I'm a huge Kadri fan, and Pat fucking hates Kadri. We fight about this shit all the time. I don't love the trade that the Dubas made and getting Barry and Kerfoot. You know, moving
Yeah.
Kadri and Rosa. I didn't
Okay,
love-
well let's do the math on that. If we play the tape forward, Kadri's actually TJ Brody now at $5.5 million a year. Not
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah, I guess so. And that was you're right. And
Yeah,
you know
but you see-
that
you
was the
see-
trade that he was actually trying to get to begin with, right? He was
Right.
actually trying to get Brody, but Kadri kiboshed the deal to Calgary.
Yeah, that was originally what we were supposed to be. This is how we should have looked in the first place, right?
Like,
This
yeah.
is a little more on the back end. But my okay, here's another thing. I want to know. I'm going to ask you guys this. I thought Alex Pietrangelo was so overvalued, and for his age and what he is and what he brings. I'm happy the Leafs didn't sign him. Is that a fucking good take or a bad take? Specifically considering their cap position.
Yeah, I think it's a good take, man. Like that, I was worried about it as well. It was one of those things where it would have been great to have a guy like that, but you can't have a guy like that when you have three guys making over $11 million. Like that's the issue, and that was the other thing about Cadbury is like, yeah, we brought in Tavares, and he's a great player, and anybody would want him on their team. But when you have Matthews, Marner, and Tavares making that money, when you could have had Naz was making 4.5 and is a great number 2 center and has that grit, like I don't know if signing John Tavares was the right move, to be honest with you, because then would you rather have you could have Tavares or sorry you could have Matthews, Marner, Pietrangelo, and Kadri. You know, that to me is a better option than having the big three up front.
See, for me, I completely agree with you in the Tavares thing, and you're actually the first Leafs fan that actually has admitted that about Tavares. I think anytime a guy like Tavares goes on free agent, hits free agent, you sign him. But as soon as you do that, you have to flip a guy like either Matthews or Nylander.
Right.
You have to. You can't have all four of those
Flipping
guys.
Matthews.
No,
And you're not
Matthews
trading.
going nowhere.
Okay, realistically, you're not going to trade Matthews, but I'm saying one of the big three in Marner, Matthews, or Nylander, you have to trade one of those guys if you're going to bring a guy in like Tavares.
So and here's the thing. During this free agent period, Marner's contract really pissed me off, right? And
Yeah.
I'm not a Leaf fan, but as a thinking man, as a critical individual and understanding the salary cap and what they needed to do, Marner's cap hit pissed me off. His salary pissed me off. Nylander's performance, according to his cap hit, pissed me off, and what he gets paid specifically in his own end. And so when you look at what the Leafs had to do and accepting the reality that none of those guys are going anywhere because Dubas promised, that's where I separate the two general managers, right? That's where I look at a guy like Marc Bergevin and I go, I think he's probably the better general manager at this point. Not to say Kyle Dubas isn't a good general manager, because you know what he did that I really like, and this is the truth. And I don't care which if you're a Habs fan, I don't care if you're a Leaf fan. if you look at him and the job that he's been able to do, he had a plan, went with it, didn't fucking work, so he changed it mid-course. I don't care who you are, to go and eat shit in front of everybody, sign a whole bunch of guys, try and work the cap to friendly deals, ask guys to take way less than they had to take, just so he can put a team on the ice and address the issues of toughness and hockey culture, and some hockey IQ and some leadership in the room. He did a fucking great job. And it's hard to like eat shit after you've been, the 29, 35-year-old wonder kid from Sault Ste. Marie, and now you've got the reins of this organization. Like, give him credit for dropping his ego at the very least. I thought that was cool.
And that's leadership right there too, Dean. Yeah. Like I work in TV production as my day job, and we have to do that daily in television. The world of production, shit falls apart every day, and if you can't take a step back, reassess, and see where you're at, not only for yourself, but for what's best for the entire production. If you work as a producer and you're at the top of the level and you're responsible for everybody else, you got to eat shit pretty much every day to make sure that you're doing what's best for everybody. And he did that, and I appreciate that as well. But, like I say to my children, it's okay to make mistakes, but it's not okay not to learn from them. So Dubas, fucking learn from this and move forward and keep building our team. But as we were talking about like their contracts and like the big three and the big four, and Matthews, I got this tweet. My brother sent me this tweet the other day. Matthews is going nowhere. I don't care how much of a dickhead he is, how much of a brat. You can move everybody else. You're not moving Matthews. And just looking at the numbers, I got this tweet that said in the entire history of the NHL, only 5 players have scored 120 even strength goals in their first 280 games. Those players are Gretzky, Lemieux, Hall, Lindros, and Matthews. Like, that's a pretty good fucking group.
It's pretty good.
He's going nowhere.
Are some of those guys Hall of Famers?
They might be.
Yeah,
maybe
one or two.
Maybe.
Yeah, the ideation, just the concept, as some people draw it up, of Matthews not being a good player. Dude, you lose me instantly. Like, I don't care where the fuck you are. Austin Matthews has proved out, specifically in the playoffs, to be the most untouchable Leaf I've seen in my history. So don't fucking even start there. Like, that's. But I love watching it. Like, it's fucking hilarious to me. It's here's what, and the armchair quarterbacks and the armchair general managers and the armchair capologists. Those guys are my fucking favorites. Well, here's what you do: you flip this guy and that. And the thing about it is, and Habs fans are the worst for those virtual trades you can do on EA Sports or whatever, where you can do like that. You can propose like a fucking trade, and it's like, it won't even work. It doesn't even go through. That's how stupid the trade is. And Habs fans are always doing, and they're all in French too. And I'm like, should I translate this tweet? I can already see the EA Sports thing that they just did here. I don't think I'm going to watch it.
Yeah, don't waste your time on that, Dino. That's no good.
No, it's weird though, man. I it's a culture that I don't fucking get. Like, people that are this into hockey. Like, you guys in your spare time talk about hockey with people, right? Like, you guys will sit and go, this forward should play here, and that guy and this guy really should. Like, you guys literally will, like, you enjoy this.
Yeah, like for me, it's like there's been nights where, like, when you're creeping up to the Olympic team roster, I'll be laying in bed on my phone, like, typing out who I think should be on the squad, or I'm chatting with buddies about what's going on in our hockey pool. Like, it's a hobby, man. Like, this whole podcast, our podcast started because a buddy of mine, him and I started this hockey pool 7 years ago, and we've been going. And then on the chat room on the main page, everyone's chatting and like, we watch hockey games together. You go into the room, there's like 12 guys in the room. You're sitting there chatting. It's fun, right? It's like you're watching your game with your buddies, but you're in the comfort of your own living room. You can watch your kids or whatever. And it's just kind of evolved where Pat's the guy that I do the podcast with. Him and I just go back and forth, and everyone just fucking yells at us and says we're idiots and this, that, and the other. And it just kind of evolved into, hey, let's do a podcast about this. And we started with, focusing it around our league and fantasy hockey. And then it just kind of evolved into more. And we started getting that viewership and coming on here with you guys. And it's blown up. But it's, the love of hockey has brought me here. So I appreciate it.
You too, Gibby? Like, do you eat, sleep, dream it? Do you think up like different neutral zone trap schemes when you're laying in bed at night? Do you get all caught up in like Maple Leaf chat forums and insulting people? Like, are you that kind of guy? Do you love hockey that much? Just say yes, because you do.
I love hockey that much, but I'm not in fucking those group chats and all those weird fucking.
I bet you
forums.
are. I bet you got burner
No chance.
accounts. I bet
No
you do because you're a Habs
I think
fan.
burner accounts are fucking corny. I think those are so corny. Just
know,
be
right?
a fucking man or woman. Just
Yeah.
man up, woman up, and just say what you got to say on your actual account. I think that's fucking corny.
Good job.
But-
Good job pulling that out of the fire, man or woman up. I like that.
Yeah,
Well done. You got to be inclusive. Yeah, way
Got
to
to
go.
do it. Got to do it.
Yeah.
No, in terms of like I'm more of like just a general sports guy, like football, Sunday football. My fiance fucking hates me because I don't even acknowledge her. She could be walking around naked and I'm not even looking at her. I'm looking on my phone, see how my fantasy football team's doing.
Mhm.
Don't get married.
I've been told.
Are you getting married soon?
So actually, we were supposed to get married in this past week, and I think the 17th in October.
Way
but
to go
because
with
it's-
you're really good with dates, for your
Oh,
nuptials.
fuck, I'm terrible, man. I'm
Dude,
terrible.
that's a sign. I tell everybody that was supposed to get married during COVID. That's a fucking sign.
Don't do that to him. Don't do that to him.
Gibby, get out of there! Run!
But yeah, because of COVID, it got canceled or
All right.
postponed.
Yeah.
Sign.
But yeah, in terms of fuck, I don't even know what we're talking about anymore. Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a sports fan.
Yeah, I know. I'm just because, like, if someone said to me, because this is the part of hockey podcast I don't get, like we do a million things here, right? Because that's where my mind is. I want to talk about politics. I want to talk about people beating the shit out of each other over a chicken sandwich. I want to talk about a little bit of hockey. I want to talk about basketball. I want to talk about race relations. I want to talk about accountability. I want to talk about, zit squeezing and the biggest zit ever squeezed. I want to watch the biggest cheese wheel in the world roll down a hill, and I want to show it to people. I want to talk about, kindness and philosophy, and then I want to play the world's largest fart. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I like to do in my spare time because I'm all over the place. It's all my interest. Hockey podcasters and bloggers, like they spend their own money. And this is a business. You guys do this for fun.
Yeah.
This is you spend your own money, your own resources, your own time filling out pools and leagues and fucking coming up with lineups and show lineups. Like, that's the part of podcasting. And I'm not making fun of the hockey. I just don't, like, I do it, but I do it in a different way. But, like, seeing how much people love this sport, to me, is, like, impressive. It's not nerdy. It's just like fucking, wow. Like, that's incredible that you guys love this sport that much.
Yeah, we got into it. Pat and I got into it just because the boys in the pool always had a good chuckle over us, right? Like, we were always, the shit that we're talking about now, it's just like that's what we talk about in the pool, and everyone has a good laugh. And Pat's was always the one that kind of pushed to get things going, and so I kind of had the gear just from working in media. So I pulled the shit together. I said I'd try it out, and it was just fun. Like, we started getting some good comments. We started getting people following us, and it just kind of turned into a hobby, right? And it was like, my free time is generally spent when I don't have my kids or I'm not working or playing hockey. I am writing up scripts, or, like you said, tracking people down to see if we can get people on the podcast, and just coming up with new fun shit to do. Like, next episode is going to be dropping on Monday for the Hockey Dummies, and we're going to have Psychic Kathy on. She's going to give us some hockey predictions of what's going to be coming up when the NHL is going to start, and when the who's going to win the cup, who's going to win the first overall pick, and who's going to win a bunch of different awards. Is she
a sports psychic? Because I find psychics are bad with sports. At least my psychic is.
Right.
Psychic
well, she
Nikki.
is. Yeah. I like her. She's got great jugs.
Great jugs. Yeah.
Great jugs.
Well, not great, but big.
No. Right. Well, they used to be. I haven't seen pictures of her in a while, but I remember back in the day, great jugs.
Big jugs. Yeah. She'll tell you. She's very proud of her jugs, even at her tender age.
Did you ever get to take a peek?
No. I'm not. We don't have that kind of. No. She's
no.
You get cursed if you do stuff like that.
Yeah,
like if you check out, if you check out a psychic or you objectify them.
always flirting with Kathy. I think deep down she loves it. But maybe
I don't think she does.
Yeah, probably not. Anywho, we're gonna be. She's not a hockey. She knows hockey, but she wouldn't be able to, rip it off like we can, or not right into it. But at the same time,
way to sell it, Steve.
Well, no, I'm just saying that she's a great psychic, but she's not a huge hockey fan. Like when we did her in season 1, she said like Matthews is going to get hurt, and he got hurt that night. She said New Jersey was going to get the first overall pick. New Jersey got the first overall pick that year. There were a couple things that she hit on. And
did she say where Lion A is going to land in the next couple of weeks?
No, but I'll put it on the list. You guys have any questions?
Yeah. I want to know where Lion A is going to land. If I had an NHL crystal ball, where's Lion A going to land? I want to know if the Leafs are going to get out of the first round this year.
No.
Okay. Hab podcaster. Okay. And by the way, like any worse job description than being a Hab podcaster who lives basically right downtown Toronto.
Yeah.
So those are the things that I want to know. I want to know like stuff like that. Outside of that, do I really care? Like, are Morgan Riley and Tessa Virtue going to get married?
I would like to see Tessa Virtue
get married to Morgan Riley. Good way
Don't
to
get married, guys. That's up, Morgan. Don't do it. I'm very pro non-married.
Well, listen, guys, I appreciate it. I wanted to have you on the podcast and talk to you about your podcast, which was the whole idea. So I appreciate it. And I don't care if either one of your franchises ever wins another Stanley Cup. It will not change my life one bit.
Are you
okay?
No, that's... And I get a kick out of that too.
Anyways, are you a hockey? Like, do you have a hockey fan?
Yeah, I'm an Oiler fan. Always have been. Always will be. And you can insult them and all their first round draft picks and how terrible the team's been and stuff. I really don't care because I'll never let go of that magical time back in 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, and then again in 1990, and being a kid growing up there. What's that?
I was still in my balls at the time, and my dad's balls at that time. So
all right, yeah, I know. Well, my dad's balls.
Well, it's true.
Yeah, I know. Listen, and ageist jokes don't bug me either. I'm 47.
No, that's fine.
You can make all the old guy jokes you want.
I'm creeping up on you, buddy. I'm pushing 40 real soon.
You can make all the old like that, and that's another thing. Why get personal with the Hab attacks? But from the Habs fans, like this guy's talking about his dad's balls in the middle of the just to tell me that he's younger than me in the middle of a podcast because it's about hockey. It's the same thing. You just sat there telling us how much better you were than all the other Habs fans, and I'm like, I don't care.
I didn't do that.
You're like, yeah, you're old. I was in my dad's balls. So you insulted your dad and insulted me.
I think he insulted his dad's balls.
Yeah. No, he insulted his own dad's balls. Yeah, your dad's balls.
Fuck, gross.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
It's fact. It's science, guys.
Hey, R.I.P. Shout out to Joey Moss. That was
tough one.
That today for sure.
Yeah,
we have a big love for Joey.
Yeah, big Oilers booster fan. Worked for the team. He was a stick boy for a long time. Yeah, he just
forever, right?
Yeah, he was a huge part of that franchise's identity. So R.I.P. Joey Moss for sure. Thanks for bringing that up. Actually, I appreciate that. That's awesome. I'm really glad you did. And I think that's pretty much it. I really don't have anything else to ask you guys. As far as podcasters, I got to tell you, I was expecting some more fireworks other than what we just put on here. I thought maybe you guys would get after each other a little bit.
I feel like you brought the two of the wrong guys on here. You got
to bring Pats on. Gibby, who's your asshole in your podcast?
Honestly, I'm the calm one.
Are you really?
The two? I'm the calm one. Like we got Lewis, who can get once he gets a little couple waters in him, he's flying. He's emotional. Yeah,
and
couple waters.
Is he the pissant of the group?
No, yeah. And then we got Vinny. So Lewis and I were the original two. That
Vinny sounds like he should be actually a Leaf fan.
Yeah, from Woodbridge. Vinny from Woodbridge.
He's Italian, so maybe.
Mm.
But yeah, we got Vinny's a very, very emotional guy, very passionate. So if I feel like if
Get
if
Vinny
you
and
guys,
Pat on here, Dino, because
yeah,
if Vinny's emotional, Pats will just get him riled up. They'll just keep calling him a shitbag for an hour, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I met Pat the other day on the podcast last week. I think we were shooting the shit, and it was and he looked like he could go off.
Yeah, he can.
Like he looked like one of those guys who's hiding some anger, and it comes out when he talks about hockey.
Oh man, buddy, he sent out the funniest tweet to Dwayne. So we've been chatting with Dwayne. We're gonna get Dwayne to come on.
Dwayne from Buffalo, yeah.
Dwayne from Buffalo is gonna come on our pod at some point and talk about goalies. But he sent him this tweet that said, 2 girls, 1 cup, Buffalo Sabres 0 cups, signed Brett Hull's toe. I was like, oh,
if you ever want to really get Dwayne going, like on a 20 tweet tangent, just tweet the picture of Brett Hull in the crease. Just do that. Just do that. Just tweet the picture of Brett Hull in the crease, the year that no one was allowed in the crease, that the Stanley Cup winning goal was scored at the crease, and Buffalo went home with jack shit yet again. Just do that one time.
Yeah, we got a couple of we have a couple of Sabres questions for Psychic Kathy for Dwayne from Buffalo. So I'm excited to get him going on some of this shit.
All right, so check it out. When does that podcast drop? You're doing it Monday, so we'll expect that on Monday.
Yeah,
when's the next Have a Listen podcast? There, Gibby
should be next Wednesday.
Yeah,
we release every Wednesday, Thursday, depends on our scheduling. But yeah, we try to get it out every week on Wednesdays.
Wait till you get married. That goes away quick.
Oh yeah, down the hill.
You'll never release it every Wednesday after that.
Yeah, we'll see how that works out.
Hey, just remember what I said, pal. I got your back.
Don't get married. He's right.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. God saved you.
Hashtag don't do it.
It was a sign, eh?
Yeah.
Dude,
well, I don't know. I don't want to destroy your life before it gets going.
No, I always bust your balls.
Trying to save his life.
It's like, listen, dude, marriage is like it's an outdated institution. It's like bloodletting. There's really no point in doing it anymore. No, it's not. It's not. Maybe it was for you. But it's like it's a bet. It's like a gamble. It's like going to the sports book and taking your life savings and going, I'll bet half.
That's a pretty way to put it.
Right? For women too. It's not just for guys. I'm not saying that, just to you, but that it would literally be like, working your whole life, falling in love with sports betting and going, I'll gamble half of it. What the fuck? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but that's literally what it is. But you got to be committed. Otherwise, it's no fun.
Yeah.
Prenup.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right.
Gibby from Have a Listen. You can get it to DeanBlundell.com. Same thing with Hockey Dummies, DeanBlundell.com, or download it wherever you get your fine podcasts, including Spotify, iTunes, etc. Guys, thanks for being on the show. Where can we find you on Twitter, Gibby?
You can find me at TheRealGibby05. You can also find our actual podcast account, which is Have a Listen.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I try to be active on the Twitter. I don't get into arguments. Don't be adding me with a bunch of bullshit that I said on here that might have triggered you Leaf fans. I'm not going to get into it. I'll likely just mute you.
That's a backhanded asking for a fight right there. You're like, guys, don't at me, don't this, fuck you. That's like you're begging for a fight. You're asking them to do it now by saying don't do it.
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. I'm still going to mute them.
All right, whatever you like. Steve, what about you? Where can we find you in Hockey Dummies?
Anybody can fucking add me. Anybody can yell at me. I love it. I think it's hilarious. We're at Hockey Dummies on Twitter, and my personal is at @sbutland. You can get me there, but all of the fun antics and all the show updates come out of our show account at Hockey Dummies.
Thanks for doing this, guys. Gibby, thank you. Steven, thank you. We'll talk to you guys soon.
All right, guys.
Take care.
All right. Little special podcast at 8:50-ish. It's a good hour. Right, Shawnee? It's a good hour. Pumped a good hour out there.
All right,
we can see you later. This is always the awkward part of the podcast when you're on Zoom, is like where you hang up and you got to finish with the end. and everybody's still on the Zoom, but no one can see them, but you can see them. It's always the weird part, and they stick around. I like it, though. It's like having a little audience. It's fun. It's fun. You can do content anytime, kids. And if you want to do some content with us, you can by entering the, this is called a segue, by the way. This is good. Take notes. And if you want to podcast, you can. We want you to podcast with us. We're trying to find another podcast for DeanBlundell.com by giving you all the gear you need to podcast, courtesy of Blue Microphones, at Blue Microphones on Twitter. The official microphone of DeanBlundell.com. Go to DeanBlundell.com, front page, and click on the link. That'll send you to a little page. You just put the link to your podcast. We'll go listen to it. Listen to 3 today. And they were good. They were really good. So people do some really good stuff. And we want to reward you for it. So does Blue Microphone. So enter the Show Us Your Pod contest at DeanBlundell.com. And you can find yourself with all new podcast gear, courtesy of Blue Microphones, including these headphones, Emmy-winning award headset, the Yeti X Blue Yeti X microphone, and of course a Blue microphone arm. Boom. Comes out. You can attach it to your desk. Everything you need. Get you set up. Then we'll take care of all your streaming. Then we'll add you to the website. And then we'll push your stuff out. And you'll be a podcaster. It's not that hard. It's hard when you got like 25 of them, which we do at DeanBlundell.com. But it's like just setting up one. It's not that big of a deal. Sean will do it. Sean will do all that stuff. So thanks to our friends at Blue Microphones, the official microphone of the DeanBlundell.com network. Owner's Box Fantasy Sports, premier weekly fantasy sports platform. Right now, if you go to DeanBlundell.com, click on the Owner's Box link at the very top, you'll see Drew Brees. Click on his face. You'll get a $50 deposit match up to $50 when you register right now. And it's free to register. If you don't want to play for real money, you don't have to. That's the cool part. Give yourself something to do during the pandemic. It is incredible how much fun it is to play weekly fantasy sports every week. You can do as many teams as you want. You can get into as many drafts as you want. And you can make your Sundays fun again with Owner's Box Fantasy Sports. Added Ed's Fine Imports, too. He's got some Gitch. Buy it from him. Luxury underwear, boxer briefs, pouch in the front. You can't miss. All day, every day. Keep your biscuits comfortable. Gitch3 is your promo code. Gitch3 is your promo code. GITCH. Then the number 3. He'll send you a free pair of underwear when you order 3 if you use that code. Who doesn't want free stuff? That's what we do. Passing on our love from our partners to you. Don't forget, sign up for our newsletter at DeanBlundell.com. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening and watching and signing up on Twitch TV, which you should do. YouTube, you should do that too. DeanTube, pretty simple. I'm not much for the, rich tapestry of telling you where you can download all our shit. If you just go to DeanBlundell.com. You see, and this is why radio companies don't like me. Because I'm like, I don't feel like doing it. It's too cheesy for me. I'm not interested in that. I can't do that. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for listening. Great night. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.